In 1966, a toy arrived that would forever be etched in the memories of British boys. He wasn't just a plaything, he became a friend, a hero, and a symbol of adventure. His name? Action Man. This simple yet iconic figure captivated the hearts of countless children, shaping their imaginations for nearly 2 decades. But what happened to this beloved companion, and why did he disappear when we needed him the most? The Arrival of a Hero, 1966. Christmas morning, 1966, and in homes across Britain, excitement filled the air. As children tore into their presents, one toy stood out, a figure that would soon become synonymous with boyhood. Action Man, with his painted hair and sturdy frame, held his rifle proudly, ready to take on whatever adventure lay ahead. Made in England by Palitoy, this wasn't just any toy. It was a promise of excitement, heroism, and endless possibility. Parents had some reservations. After all, this was what the Americans called a doll. But Palitoy knew better. Action Man was no doll. He was a fighter, a soldier, a man of action. And the public quickly agreed. The queues outside Woolworths on Saturdays were long, with eager children pressing their faces against the glass, dreaming of the day they'd get their own Action Man. The timing was perfect. Post-war Britain had spent years recovering from the hardships of rationing and rebuilding. Now, with the economy recovering, families finally had disposable income to spend on their children. Action Man arrived at just the right moment, a time when parents were eager to give their sons something that connected them to heroism, adventure, and bravery without glorifying war too heavily. By February 1967, over 1 million Action Men had been sold. The toy's appeal was undeniable. Boys across the country were dressing their Action Men in Royal Marine uniforms, staging daring rescues, or using them as sentinels on windowsills. Action Man wasn't just a toy. He was part of their childhood. His stiff joints and heavy presence gave him a solidity that made him feel almost real. And with that dog tag hanging from his neck, there was a certain sense of authenticity, like he was a real soldier. The British twist, 1970s. By the early 1970s, Action Man had evolved. No longer just an imitation of the American G.I. Joe, Palitoy began to infuse the toy with distinctly British elements. Gone were the purely military themes, replaced by characters that reflected British culture, the action cricketer, the action footballer, and the adventurer in his safari gear. These new figures spoke directly to British boys' love for sports and adventure, making Action Man feel like their very own. The 1970s marked the golden age of Action Man. New innovations were introduced regularly, ensuring the toy remained fresh and exciting. Flocked hair replaced the painted style, giving the figures a more realistic look and feel. Action Men were no longer just soldiers. They were multi-dimensional characters, capable of holding weapons and tools with newly designed hands. The change transformed playtime, allowing children to create even more elaborate stories and scenarios. One of the standout moments came in 1973 when Action Man's grip was redesigned. Chief designer Bob Breen sculpted new gripping hands, based on his own left hand, allowing the figures to hold rifles, binoculars, and other accessories. The level of detail Palitoy put into each figure was astounding. Uniforms were crafted from heavy cotton, and metal parts replaced cheap plastic to add authenticity to the weapons and equipment. Every detail mattered, and it showed. The collectible era, 1977-1983. By 1977, Action Man had undergone another major transformation. The introduction of Eagle Eyes, a mechanism that allowed the figure's eyes to move from side to side, added a new layer of interactivity. Children could now direct their hero's gaze, making reconnaissance missions and lookout scenarios feel more engaging. Action Man became more than just a figure. He became a partner in the stories children created. The same year, the head of Action Man became slightly larger, more tan, and had a new expression, more intense and focused. With the ability to direct his gaze, storytelling now had a new dimension. Your hero could scan the horizon, look out for danger, and react to his environment, something that set Action Man apart from other toys. The late 1970s also saw the introduction of the Dynamic Physique in 1979. Designers Iva Edmonds and Bob Brechin created a more muscular body, replacing the older metal parts with modern plastics. The figure was more durable and featured improved articulation, which made him even more versatile during play. The new physique gave Action Man a genuinely athletic appearance, making him feel more like the hero he was meant to be. However, as the toy evolved, the 12-inch figure's size began to be a challenge. The popularity of Action Man peaked during the late 70s, with more and more unique characters appearing. New uniforms, such as the Ceremonial Guard, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Officer, and the Deep Sea Diver, reflected British and international themes, connecting the toy to a broader narrative. Even the packaging evolved, with vibrant illustrations and the opportunity to collect stars from packaging, which could be exchanged for free gifts. This innovative marketing made collecting Action Men feel like a bigger achievement, driving the excitement even further. A sudden decline, 1980s. By 1982, the toy industry was beginning to change. Smaller action figures like Star Wars and the Transformers toys took over. These smaller figures were cheaper to produce and more affordable for children to collect. The 12-inch Action Man, with his detailed accessories, seemed expensive by comparison. Palitoy responded with Action Force, a line of smaller figures to compete with Star Wars. But by 1984, it was clear that the original Action Man had become outdated. The rise of smaller, more affordable action figures like Star Wars and Transformers made Action Man seem like a relic of the past. Rising production costs, dated molds, and changing play patterns meant that Action Man could no longer compete. By 1984, General Mills, Palitoy's American parent company, made the decision to discontinue Action Man completely. The reluctant goodbye, 1984-1990s. When Action Man was discontinued, many parents held on to their figures, sensing that they were more than just toys. Action Man represented a world of possibilities, backyard adventures, dramatic rescues, and missions that only a child's imagination could create. For those who grew up with him, the loss of Action Man was not just the end of a toy line, it was the end of an era. Though the 12-inch Action Man was gone, he didn't disappear entirely. He lived on in attics, tucked away in memory boxes, and in the stories that fathers shared with their children. Collectors began to seek out vintage figures, especially those in original packaging. The nostalgia surrounding Action Man grew stronger with each passing year. In 1993, Hasbro, the company that now owned the rights to Action Man, decided to relaunch the toy for a new generation. This new version became an instant hit, becoming the best-selling boys' toy year after year. The 1990s version of Action Man was a blend of nostalgia for the old fans and new designs for a new generation. Legacy of a childhood hero. By 2016, Action Man had reached his 50th anniversary. To celebrate, Hasbro released a special range of figures that recreated the classic 1960s and 70s versions for collectors. These vintage-inspired figures were a way for fans to relive the magic of their childhood and share it with the next generation. Even today, original Action Men from the 1960s and 70s can fetch hundreds of pounds at auction, with complete boxed sets selling for astonishing prices. While the financial value of these figures is impressive, the true worth lies in the memories they represent. For millions of British boys, Action Man wasn't just a toy. He was a companion, a hero, and a symbol of childhood itself. As we reflect on Action Man's legacy, it's clear that this toy holds a special place in the hearts of those who grew up with him. Action Man wasn't just about the adventures he went on, he was about the memories he created. Today, we remember him not just as a plastic figure, but as a piece of our past that shaped our childhoods. His story is a reminder of a time when the world felt full of adventure and anything was possible. Do you have a memory of Action Man? Did you have one as a child, or perhaps you've rediscovered him as an adult? Share your story in the comments below and let us know what other British memories we should explore next. If you enjoyed this nostalgic trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.